My YouTube family, I have been trying to do this video. I ain't even gonna say I've been trying. I ain't been trying. I've been trying to survive. That's what I've been doing. That's the mom twin life for you, okay? So what I will say is I finally have a moment to film this video. So if you are subscribed to our channel, then you know I gave birth to twins in March. The twins were born March 16th, 2021. I wanted to do a better job at filming the pregnancy journey with them. And I did not do the best because it was like way more intense than what I had anticipated. I had 4 other children back to back, and each of them is like 2 years apart, like barely making it 2 years apart. One and a half. One of them is a year and a month apart. Like, my children are back to back. So like, I would call myself an OG when it comes to birthing babies. But I will say every pregnancy is different and every birth is different. It's just having 4 children back to back, I've had various experiences and can pretty much adapt to the intensity that birth brings and that pregnancy brings. But let me tell you something. Twin birth hits different. Like all the way different, sis. So any expectations, I don't care how many children you got. If you're pregnant with 10, you could just expect to go back to ground zero. You starting over, sis, okay? You starting over, period. Because anything that you can expect or anticipate, the twins changed the game for everything. So just a little quick recap. I found out I was pregnant with twins at 10 weeks. I was set to have a home birth. However, in the state of Florida, it is not legal to have a home birth with multiples. So I had to transition care back to my OBGYN, which is not bad because my particular midwife that I've been seeing, she's been with me for all of my pregnancies, and she's a twin mom herself. So we have a special bond, and I was excited to be back in her care because I trusted her. The particular office that I go to, they're very baby friendly. It's a Black-owned practice. I love it. And I knew that I was going to be in good hands. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of nerves, questions, like unknown things going into this pregnancy, expecting twins. I really did not see it coming. So I knew I was in good hands, though, throughout this transition. Hold on now. Y'all pipe down. It's not y'all time to be entered into the chat yet. Hold on. Talk to the twins. So I experienced morning sickness, which was never a thing with my other pregnancies. It got hard way faster. So normally I would kind of tap out the last month of pregnancy with my singleton births. These here had me tapped out December, which I was only 4 months. Only 4 months. Like, I had to go on leave from work and everything. And I work from home. It was that intense. I'm not saying this to discourage anybody expecting twins, but I'm just giving you the real. And I'm somebody who prides myself on being strong, like a strong mom. Like, I do this thing every day. When you have back-to-back kids, you don't have time to lay around and sit around and play games. So I pride myself on being strong and a multitasker and all that. But the twins, like, it challenged me. I had to sit down somewhere real quick. So that was pretty much it. I wasn't like super crazy about eating healthy. I ain't gonna lie. I ate what I craved. Uber Eats and shipped grocery delivery was life. Do you hear me? Every day I ate from Uber Eats at least twice a day, once or twice a day. I could not cook. I could not clean after a while. By month 7, I was completely out the game. Only had the energy. Haven, I'm doing the video. Only had the strength to walk from the room to the kitchen to eat. Or grab something to drink, or walking to the bathroom. By the last month, I was pretty much crawling to the bathroom and in my bed altogether, okay? So, the birth. So, I would say, honestly, I don't know if this was any other mom's experience, but I feel like I was in labor for the last 2 months. Because once they started checking me at about like 32 weeks, I had started to dilate slowly but surely. Like, it was happening. So it got to the point where, and I did have one early labor scare at 35 weeks, but the contractions subsided. And that's why I say I was in labor for 2 months. because even prior to that, I will be experiencing real contractions, not Braxton Hicks, but real contractions like throughout the day for like between, and they will be like 2 to 5 minutes, 2 to 10 minutes apart. So for most people, that is a sign of active labor. But for me, it wasn't, because my cervix was still completely closed and very high. So I will say this, I went into chiropractic care. I started to get adjustments like 2 to 3 times a week, which was very expensive, by the way, to try and get the babies to get into position. I've never had a breech baby, never had an issue with the position of my other babies, but because they were pretty nice size and ran out of room, they were not in position like they should have been in order to guarantee me being able to have a vaginal delivery. So baby A was my boy, Honor, and baby B was baby girl, Liberty. So baby A, the way it works is they basically told me that in order for me to be guaranteed a vaginal delivery, baby A, the boy, had to be in position. So about 35 weeks, he was still transverse and eventually transitioned to frank breech, which is like in a partial breech position. What in the world? And Liberty was head down. So, hold on, where's the remote? So, that was a problem. So, honestly, it was as if they were fighting for who was going to be first. Like, he was baby A the entire time, but he wasn't in position. Liberty was in position. So, it was like, hey, if you don't get it together, I'm going to push you out the way, and I'm coming first. I'm going to be baby A now. Very frustrating, very painful, and very expensive paying for that chiropractor. In hopes that they would turn. There was no guarantee. The uncertainty almost like took me out of here, y'all. The anxiety was real. And I cope pretty well. You know, I know how to overcome things, but this was something that was beyond me. So, had an early labor scare, 35 weeks, not quite early, but that didn't happen. I feel like I was in labor for the last 2 months of my pregnancy because I had been having real contractions for a long time, and I was dilating like up to like 4 centimeters really those last 2 months, but my cervix was absolutely closed and super high. So fast forwarding to where labor actually happened. I woke up on a Monday. Now I was trying to hold the babies in for a week because my midwife, who I have my special bond with, she was going to be out of town for spring break. So I was like, Lord God, I know that I've been contracting and stuff, but please, because being that this is so uncertain and they're threatening C-section because of the position of baby A, I need Carol. Like, I need, oh Lord, I shouldn't say her name. I need my midwife. So, fast forward, like the babies did stay in. So I had an appointment that Monday for the chiropractor. So I was hoping, okay, this will be my last adjustment before I have babies. I want to have them on Tuesday. Like when I go to the doctor, I want to be leaving there and going to the hospital. So I will say this. I did make the midwife's brew Monday night, okay? I sent my husband to the store because I was completely done. I couldn't even walk to the bathroom, y'all. I was peeing on myself and trying to run to the bathroom. It was just that painful. I was pretty much like crawling to the bathroom. No energy. That I felt like my body couldn't stretch anymore. I'll insert some pictures because y'all ain't gonna believe me. And to be honest, you could judge your mammy, baby, because if you judge me, I don't care. I'm gonna tell you what my mindset was. My babies was full term to be twins. And I felt like I'd rather do my natural way of induction than to have to risk being induced in the hospital. I did not want that. So anyways, I woke up the next morning. Contractions was back to back to back. They were not extremely painful though, but they were coming strong. I ended up resting. My husband stayed home for work. We got the bag going. And it was time for my appointment. So I went to the appointment at about 11 in the afternoon. She checked my cervix. I was 6 centimeters dilated already. And my cervix had finally opened. And it was about 60% effaced. Not to mention my blood pressure was actually high, which it never is high. So she was like, either way, you're going to the hospital for review, like for evaluation. But prepared to basically be there to have the baby. So child, we went to Chick-fil-A because I knew they was gonna start me in the hospital, and you know, I love what better meal, okay, to send me off. So I went and had Chick-fil-A. Me and my husband dropped my daughter off, who she stays home right now, not old enough for pre-K. So she dropped her off to my mom and sister, and we headed over to the hospital. Where are we?
The hospital, girl. St. Vincent's.
To have these babies.
Yeah.
Prayerfully.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
All right. I'm having contraction. Gotta go. Hi. Hospital. Bed was made, ready to go. I'm trying to hurry up before they fall asleep, so y'all can see them. Ready to go, and everything happened so quickly, and it was so strange, y'all, because I was not feeling the pain of my contractions. I have had 4 natural births. At that point, where I'm 6 centimeters, labor is active in here, and it hurts like hell. So I was not feeling any like pain. I was just sitting in the bed like, me and my husband, we got the worship music playing, you know, we kind of praying in prayer, waiting for the intensity to build, and it never built. Like, they were coming in, checking me. Oh, you're at a 7, you're at an 8. Oh, you're at a 9. It's almost time, and still no intense like labor pains. They tried to break my water, but it was still too high. So eventually, they tried to break it. It was unsuccessful. They walked out the room, and when they walked out, my water broke on its own. So unfortunately, the doctor who was there at the time, she checked the ultrasound. We did another ultrasound to check their position, and baby A was still not in position. So she was ready to do a C-section, and that's where I was like, God, I need you to do what you do best and make it work, because they're not cutting on me. You understand me? I don't know how these babies are getting out, but I have a fear of needles, so I'm definitely not about to get sliced and diced. I'm sorry. I salute all the moms who have had C-sections for real, but I cannot. Like, in my mind, I couldn't even fathom it. So, my midwife came, she made it, and she was all the comfort and security that I needed, in addition to my husband being there. I ended up being rolled to the OR. If you don't know, I know in my state, or in most situations, when you're birthing twins, you automatically have to birth in the OR, even if you're having a vaginal delivery. So, long story short, we make it to the OR. We're still trying to have a natural vaginal delivery. I still have not had any medications. I'm still doing pretty well with the pain. I was fully dilated to a 10. Water broke and everything. So, at this point, I have one doctor with a ultrasound wand on my stomach trying to identify which baby's body parts is who, because they were pretty much going to go ahead and I got the okay for a breech delivery, because Honor was fully breached. So I had my midwife holding Liberty's head out of the way on my other side of my stomach, and then I had the other doctor kind of holding his foot from inside me, y'all. So I'm trying to push, but to be honest, I didn't feel that natural urge to push like I felt in my other natural births. So it was very exhausting very quickly. It became very exhausting very quickly. They did that for about an hour. Once that was, I would say even an hour and a half, unless I'm tripping. So once they just kept going, they couldn't get his feet, like both of them, and me pushing, like it just wasn't happening. So basically they were like, listen, if you want to save this vaginal delivery without other interventions like a C-section, emergency C-section, then we're gonna have to give you a spinal tap. I broke down because, again, phobia of needles. So they ended up giving me the spinal tap. I was a G, you know, I did cry like a little baby, but it honestly wasn't that bad. I went numb, and a few minutes later, like, they were still pulling and tugging and doing the same thing that they had been doing. But of course I didn't feel anything, so they were able to kind of go a little bit deeper. They asked me to push, and I'm like, first of all, if you had an epidural, you know exactly what the freak I'm talking about. You can't feel it, Jack. So how the freak you pushing? I feel like all my strength was gone. Like, that's all I could do. But apparently it was working, because he was born. He was born feet first, y'all. Breach. I delivered a baby. Breach. Crazy. 6 pounds, 3 ounces. My lovely baby boy, Honor. Meet Honor, y'all, because he on the way to sleep. But I want y'all to see my pudding. This is baby Honor, my baby boy. He was the smallest, but he definitely has surpassed his sister in weight now. He's 10 pounds as of Monday or Tuesday. Okay, pudding. And then shortly after that, they had to put in more work, because baby girl, basically when he came out, which he was not breathing right away, they kind of had to, you know, rough him up a little bit. I don't know. I've seen breech deliveries on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube, and it seems like they're deprived of oxygen. While I guess while their head it happens in opposite fashion. So, he wasn't breathing when he came out, and I seen that that's pretty much a common thing with breech deliveries. But luckily, he started to cry, and because my husband was about to hyperventilate, y'all. And I was clueless because I couldn't see anything. But luckily, he started crying. He was healthy. He was fine. And then they started to tell me to kind of try and push with baby girl. But it took a while. Like, it took like almost 30 minutes. I think they're like 22 minutes apart. Because once he was born, she went all the way up and turned. So when she was, they had to use the vacuum to vacuum her head out. And I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And then finally, she was here. And I was told, when my husband was told by the midwife, that she came out at the widest angle possible. So she made sure that they had to put in work, and I had to put in work to get her here too. So 22 minutes after, baby Liberty was born, and she is super alert, y'all. She always like eyes wide open, always. This is my baby girl. So y'all have met the twins. They're here. I will do other videos about what life has been like with them. The intensity didn't stop, and y'all know this. And again, I still feel like a first-time mom because you better not throw up on camera. Life with twins is just crazy, and then life with 4 kids, 7 and under, and twins is crazier. But I'm so happy they're here. I'm so thankful to God that he carried us through, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, anything you want to know about the pregnancy and birth, let me know in the comments. Bye.